Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Positively Glad is back, and here tonight we are doing the RRL Drivers' Championship Sunday, of course. We are here, Season 8, Round 11. We are here at the world famous Interlagos, and I am here braving it by myself, and we are looking at RRL Ausat coming straight out. We're already following him already, so we're going to get straight on board here, guys. We've got a 15-man field here this evening. We'll run through the participants in a moment. I would be usually doing this with Penguin, but unfortunately I can't quite do it myself. He's not available here tonight, so I'm literally going to be doing it solo. So I will beg, my partner's not back home yet, so if you do hear some silent parts in the... Oh my god, an Ausat has blown up already! Jesus Christ! Right. Something tells me that's probably not supposed to happen for him, but yeah, that works. We'll move on to Wise Dog just behind him. That was an interesting start to the whole bloody race, wasn't it? Right, so straight away, guys, just to let you know, with 15-man field, Addict, Tough Kev, Tits, Big Stew, The Usuals, Notorious, Biddy, Synth, Les Paul, Paul 2K, Snoop, Michelangelo, Toto, Wise Dog in the Ferrari, of course. Ausat is, of course, in the Red Bull as he has dropped a bit. Benji, how you doing, my man? Great to have you on board with me watching this evening. Winchester, who was also in a Ferrari, and also, of course, as we have mentioned, the aforementioned Ausat, Biddy in the Force India, and I believe Addict is running the Sauber, as Addict does lead the championship by 7 points over RRL Cookie, who is rather conspicuous by his absence here tonight, guys. So Cookie does miss a race here, which means Addict can only really gain from this, you would assume, wouldn't you? But we're going to go on board with Wise Dog. I think Ausat's going to be coming to the pit, surely to God. No wing, yeah, he does. So we're going to go on board with Wise Dog then for the first timed lap of this Sunday evening. Glad to have you all on board here. This is going to be one hell of a grueling stream. If you do hear me go a little bit quiet, guys, I am soloing it tonight, so if I have to run off, look up. Since disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. What? Alright, moving on. Ever so slightly, I'll go back to Wise Dog, who does a 17.5 in the first sector. And we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 as well. What is going on tonight, guys? What the bloody hell is happening? There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I'm still trying to work out who that is. Oh, maybe it's Synth's car being taken off. I'm assuming that's what it is. But yeah, we're on board with Wise Dog then. He, of course, had that unfortunate Sauber run last week where, you know, it's just about getting to the end. Synth disqualification in qualifying. That's nothing new there for Codemasters Games. I think we're going to unearth some of the absolute bullshit things here in terms of some of the other bollocks. Yeah, I was about to say, Synth, it didn't really work out too well for you. Ausat blew up in the pits on the way out, and now you've blocked the pit lane. Yeah. Moving on. Right, so we've got Wise Dog sets the initial pace with a 1:10.6. That's not a bad outlap. We're going to go on to, well, you know, bank a lap, so to speak. Biddy, let's see what Biddy can do. We have the... Why am I not looking at that? Let's have a look at best lap. Whoa, come on, fastest lap. Ah, there you go. That's right. Sorry, it is right. Okay. Toto, of course, has gone on to the harder tyre. That's become somewhat of a gimmick for him. We have Biddy coming across the line. Then he does a 1 minute 11.8. Not the best start for Biddy, but of course that is where you warm up from. Right. So I believe it's Paul 2K coming around next. I will just double check. Oh, what the hell's going on there? Oh, Notorious having some fun with the Toro Rosso. Who's in the Toro? It's Les Paul, who's apparently still in the pits. I'm a little bit bemused as to this. It's not actually showing him out on track as an outlap yet. Ah, because they've not actually entered the fucking track yet. What a retard. Addict does a 1:11.5. That's a cracking lap. Kevin the Merc does a 1:10.0. So the lap times are starting to come in now. We'll go on board with Paul 2K flying down the final corner. And here we go then. Scooting down now. Here comes Paul 2K. And moves it to third position, 1:11.0. We're probably looking at a 1:09. If we're going to be looking at an absolute monster of a lap, really. Snooper is on Sector 2, currently going around Sector 2. I believe he does have Notorious just cruising around behind him here. I'm guessing that Snooper's going to have to go out the way to it, so I'm about to say, did you fuck it as well? I'm not really sure. I know you don't usually go out until the end, but we'll move on here. Snooper comes around then. Let's see what Snoop can do. He's had a lot of bad luck while we've been watching him this season, just kind of a little bit here and there. Shows some signs of promise in driving, then all of a sudden it just kind of capitulates around him. I'm by myself, of course, tonight, so do forgive me. Snooper then comes round them. We'll go on to broadcast cam with him. TV pod. Snoop comes flying across the line. Here we go. It is going to be a 1 minute 12.1. Not the best lap by Snooper. Hopefully that'll improve for him sometime later in the session. Awzat is coming around. He's actually got all of his front wing this time. So, yeah, probably best if that's the case. Les Paul in Sector 1. Notorious also in Sector 1. Les Paul, for some reason, is barely showing me times for him. We'll get on board with Stu. He's the next guy who's going to be finishing off a lap here. So here comes Big Stu, I think, or is Winchester a bit further on. Winnie in the Ferrari here. But, yeah, I believe it is Winnie. I think he's on his outlap, isn't he? Yep, especially with a 5-minute 29 lap. That is not going to get the job done. He may get accused of sandbagging a little bit there. So we're going to go on board then with Big Stu. He's had a lot of bad luck this season, as we, of course, he's the first person from RL to get his name into my title. And that's a hell of a lap there. 110, just! Oh, that's literally 1/10 of a second, sorry, off Tough Kev. So the Mercedes, as we know, are very, very quick around this track. Let's have a look at Les Paul then. I believe Les Paul is going to be coming around then. Right after him is Notorious. So we're going to be on board with him very shortly after that. And then it's Winchester coming around. And I've got the fucking hiccups. That's not what you need on a solo stream. So here comes Les Paul flying down the main straight now. Les Paul's put himself into a championship challenging position. Currently 5th in the table and moves, well, 1:11.4, not a bad lap in the Toro Rosso at all. So he goes into provisional 5th place. Notorious follows him round right to provisional 6th place. We'll get on board with Winchester, who is in the Ferrari, who's going to be a danger man this weekend, of course. As you see, Wise Dog sitting half a second off the Mercs, 6/10 off pole. Can Winchester do anything about it? Let's have a look here. Sector 2, so he goes flying round toward down the main final straight. Look at this. They call this a corner. It may as well just be a bit of a glide, really. One wrong move, and you're going to be Alonso'd and Webbered into the wall, so you don't really want that. Here comes Winchester. What will he do? Winchester hits himself a 1 minute 10.3, safely into 3rd position, filling up Ferraris onto the 2nd row of the grid. Awzat's not had a very, very fun time with this at all. He's not enjoying that Red Bull, it seems. Not enjoying the setup, not enjoying the kind of feel of the car right now. But we'll double check here, see what he does. He's actually going around to complete a lap. What a fucking terrible camera angle that is. Here comes Awzat. Will he improve on his lap time? He bloody does, you know. Goes into 9th place. Possibly a little bit more disappointing than what he'd hoped for. Waiting for Toto, Tits and Michelangelo here to complete their laps. And of course, Sint got disqualified for parking sideways in the pit lane. I've just made that up because this is bullshit, an excuse. And speaking of that, on the Devil 8, Toto straight out the pits in the Haas tonight, Toe. So he's going to possibly find this a bit more tricky. Lenny, how you doing, my man? Welcome into the stream. Pause is doing a solo stream. Like I said, my baby and partner aren't back yet. So if you do hear any quiet patches in the stream, I'll try and find the best action, and it will be a bit quiet, so you'll have to forgive me. But I'll do my best for you guys, as I always do on this channel. Right, so pretty line of start at the moment. We've got both the Mercedes 1-2, Ferraris 3-4, Paul 2K sitting in the Williams in 5th. That's a good lap by him. Notorious in 6th. Les Paul in the, I believe, Toro Rosso. Les Paul in 7th. Addict with a great lap in the Sauber in 8th. Awzat 9th, of course, in the Red Bull. Not enjoying this at all, but he is going a bit quicker. So Awzat is on for an improvement here. If he can just... Let's go full on the telemetry. He's got enough for another run here at least. And Awzat was the 7th, so he's just behind tonight's teammate, who is Notorious, of course. We'll get on board with Toto. Biddy and Toe are going to be very, very interesting here. Toto just going on to the harder compound. If Toe can somehow in that Haas find the pace to outshine Michelangelo, who is also in the Sauber, so he's going to have a very, very difficult evening here tonight as well. And Turtz, of course, is in the Renault, I believe, without really clocking the charts here. He is in... No, it's Toro, is he? I don't know. He's in a Toro. What the fuck happened there? He's in the Toro, sorry, guys. Still getting a bit accustomed to the cars and stuff. I've got a nice picture from Kaninch, who's helped me out with the tables for this evening, which is really generous of him. I'm sure Tits was in a Renault. Oh no, it's Kaninch, wasn't it? Kaninch would be in a Renault, but of course Kaninch isn't here tonight, guys. Personal reasons, don't really go into much detail. So here comes Toe then, around the first part of the second sector. The first of the two sort of horseshoe-like corners, almost like 3 upside down and right way facing horseshoes. Great driving by Turtz, getting nice and calmly out of the way there for Toe. Not going to prohibit it in any way, shape or form. And we've got Biddy, who's retired. Where's Biddy gone? Oh no, it's just he's set. Oh, Biddy's gone 5th. Good lap by Bid, actually. Brought me to that attention, but he's just pulled off to the track. Perfectly legal, of course. Once you do your lap, just make sure you don't kind of prohibit anybody else, and then you'll be okay. So will Toto be able to make a scratch into Snoop? That's probably where he's going to be aiming here. Snoop and Addict, get himself involved in the Addict Les Paul mini scrap in the middle of the field. Here comes Toto Wolff then. He comes across the line in a 12.8, doesn't quite enter that battle, but of course he will have choice of tyres. So what you may consider to be a negative, I will consider to be a very big positive for Toto. Doing really, really well at the moment in the championship, of course, sitting currently, I believe, in 3rd position. So doing alright. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm solo streaming. If anyone notices any issues or anything, just pop them in the comments. I'll do my best to address them as we move and advance forward. Michelangelo still hasn't come out on track yet. I think, is Jay going to actually basically not come out on track? That may be an interesting strategy. You'll be able to have all his kind of array of tyres available to him. So it may work out. Turts is currently going around, guys. Turts has been very, very consistent this season, with the exception of a few little bumps and bashes, but he's finished almost, I think it's every single race he's finished this season. Just simply driving a rather nice season, I guess, and Toto is in the same vein as well. Toe, from what I remember him, obviously when I was racing him, of course, with RRL, I remember him being one of the most consistent drivers. A fucking pain in the arse to overtake. But, aye. Just consistent. He's always going to be there. Now let's see. Turts has got his first car with a competitive engine in it for, well, a competitive feel to it for a while now. So let's see what Turts can do. Will he be able to put it inside the 112s? He does. 111.7. Nice and sweetly into 12th position, just behind Toto. That's a big, interesting point. Toto has got a better lap than Turts, but will he consider that a warm-up lap? He does just about have enough fuel to make it round before the checkered flag. So this is interesting how so many people here on the Mercedes, and that's Michelangelo, who just retires anyway. That's fair enough. He's in the pits, so why don't they give us yellow flag in sector 1? He's in the pits. What do you reckon? That's the actual Saab mechanics walking onto the fucking track and waving a yellow flag. Merry Christmas. So Turts, we're still following Turts at the moment. I believe he's one closest to finishing a lap. I'm going to have a look at the fuel of these guys as well. Les Paul's on a lap, Notorious on a lap. The only guys potentially who could do damage, and Winchester's just on a 1 minute 10.7. That's not going to get the job done in terms of moving on up. And I believe that Wise Dog has run out of fuel, so he is done for the session. So obviously it's people below him who can potentially move up here. Let's have a little flick through. We've got Les Paul, there's 3 minutes left, so we're now at the checker flag. Snoop at the checker flag. Awzat moves, or remains 9th actually, so Awzat remains in 9th place. Notorious and Les Paul both neck and neck, literally the same time for Les Paul and Notorious. Toto bins his lap off. What can Addict do? Turt goes into the pits. He's not improved. Addict, I believe, may have improved here. Let's have a quick look, see if we can move up any places. In a Sauber, of all things. Addict comes across the line into 9th place. Great drive by Addict there. Les Paul, but I believe we've got Paul 2K coming round first. Goodness, we have to be quick fire here doing this. Paul 2K moves, doesn't improve his time. Notorious, who is 7th position, moves ahead of Paul 2K. Big movement there onto the inside of the grid. Very intriguing. Winchester, what can he do? It's all down to Winnie now. The only guy left to come and set a lap time. Will he actually make the lap? Will he do it? It's looking good. He may be able to make a little bit of a mark on the Mercedes cars here. And just misses out. Goodness me, a 1/10 of a second between the top 3. Great lap by Winchester. Congratulations to Tough Kev on pole. Big Stu, really fulfilling promise that he has been showing that he can do, barring the mistakes he's been making. Great qualifying by the guys. Great qualifying. Guys, I'm just going to go for a quick cigarette. The rundown: Tough Kev, Big Stu, Winchester, Wise Dog, Biddy in 5th in the Force India. Les Paul 6th, I believe. Where is Les Paul? He is in the Toro Rosso. The Red Bulls are Notorious, and I was at 7th and 10th, surrounding Paul 2K in the Williams and Addict in the Sauber. Toto in the Haas, Turtles in the 2nd Toro Rosso, and Snooper, I believe, in the 2nd Force India. Guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Just going to go for a quick smoke. Back in 2. And to touch upon two more people, sorry, a little bit late back, we do have at the bottom as well, guys, so I have to make mention. Michelangelo, who didn't go out and set a time, he's in the Sauber. I think Michelangelo's just trying to get to the end of this race, as you do in a Sauber if you DNF twice. And Sint with a bizarre disqualification. He's in the Renault, that's why I kept getting that part mistaken. So, looking good then. Addict, championship leader. Toto, amazing, he's found himself in third. Mr. Consistency. We'll skip this, no copyright law for us. Thank you so much, motherfucker. Right, here we go, so we're just waiting for the start now. My prediction, guys, today is going to be a Mercedes win, I believe, but Winchester's going to challenge him the whole way through. It's all dependent on what happens in the midfield battle and where the front runners, aka the Mercedes and the Ferraris, come out. Weisdog is a dark horse, but he has been prone, at least on stream since I've been watching, to making the odd mistake. So that's going to be an interesting factor to see if he can actually avoid the mistakes being made. Also, we do have a bit of a... It's going to be interesting in the midfield watching Sint come through. Sint has been our race winner twice in a row now. Of course, he has been in a fast car for both Mercedes and, of course, Force India round. Not mistaking that for any of his kind of talent, because Sint has been proven that he's winning races, and ever since I raced him, he was a quick bastard anyway, so happy days on that front. Not ass-kissing, don't worry. But aye, it's looking pretty good though, guys. We are running here 15-car field. Hopefully we get 15 cars at the end. The only problem with Brazil is it's a very, very short run down to turn one off the start, so as long as these guys are very, very careful, if they're not, it'll make a lot more entertaining viewing, but as long as they're careful, kind of almost tiptoe the way around the first couple of corners and then get involved in the major scraps, that will be probably the way forward there. So, Interlagos. Not going to spoil any results if anyone hasn't seen the race today, but it was actually mediocre race. I thought it wasn't too exciting, but watching a couple of cars come through the field was fun. What I will say, emotional time for Massa, really, really good for Massa. Great. I've got to say, I'm impressed with that McLaren, though. The McLaren, ironically, now that they're leaving Honda, they finally start to motor. So, you know, will Toro Rosso take that forward into the new season? Because they've gone shit in them Renault, in that bloody... I believe they're in the Renault engine, aren't they? Or the shitty Ferrari engine, one of the two, but either way, both as bad as each other. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this race pans out. Basically, we're looking at I think it's a dry race, I'm guessing, just based on the conditions anyway. I think the way that RL do it, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone, I know there's a couple of RL guys in the comments, of course, is they base it on the actual official weather for the race, or that they have, or if there's a race that week, they base it on the weather they have at that race. And if it's for example, a race that isn't on the calendar, so to speak, like they did Russia last weekend, Spain next weekend, of course, they will be basing it on the weather as it is at the time of race. So it's a pretty cool way they do it. It's pretty cool. I like the way they do it. It's a thing, like, as I've always said, guys, I'm not representing RL, I represent myself. You know, I'm a selfish son of a bitch. But I've always said, even when we were in the height of our problems, that the way they have the format, and we are going here, 23 seconds, but the way that they kind of run it is really professional. They've done it for so long. Only Winchester are ready up, and then we are ready to go at Interlagos. 71 laps of me losing my voice. So here we go, 2 bottles of Pepsi at the ready. This should hopefully serve me well. Lovely Pepsi. Right, here we go then, we're going. On the grid then, Tough Kev, Big Stew, Winchester Weisdog, top 4 to watch out for here. Interval, we got Detail, Tyre, Telemeter, full, yeah, good stuff. Tough Kev gets a really good start. And look at the Toro Rosso there of Les Paul down the inside. Here we go, makes a move on. Weisdog's been tipped. Weisdog's been tipped by the Williams. Oh, there's a crash already. Paul Touquet and Weisdog in the wars already. Oh, Dios mio. Going to have to go up the field here just to kind of get an idea. And you see here, Big Stew still keeps Winchester behind. Oh, Jesus, bit of an unlucky scrap there. Oh, and I believe that is Biddy. Another yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. What's happened there? I think it was Biddy returning to the train here, guys. The Mercedes doing pretty well. Bit of lag there, but hopefully nothing too bad. Really unfortunate for Weisdog, of course, but he is in the Ferrari. Hopefully he'll be able to pull back. Addict doing really... Oh, Jesus Christ, I was almost at the back of Addict there. So, as we see them, we're going to move up to 3rd position just to see what Winchester's up to. And here we go then, we're running through. Pretty nice start, to be honest with you. And here we go then, so we are now beginning to get settled in the top 3 and streaked away. Les Paul, of course, and that Toro Rosso, damage limitation here for him. Especially in that sort of car. And Addict as well, will have quicker cars all around him. Addict's ability, he will have to carry him through. Turks is looking very, very close to the back of Sint there. But we're hopefully going to get nice and settled in, so I can have a bit of a talk with you guys watching. But Winchester here is on the back of Big Stew. Tough Kev, of course, sets the opening lap of the race. That is a 1:18. We'll go back to Addict here, who has Owser up the inside of him. This is an immediate overtake here by Owser on the inside. Will Addict be able to hang it around the outside? He'll have better traction going into turn 2, and he does. Will Owser get switched back completely? We're going to go on board with Addict. We've got another yellow flag in Sector 1. And Snoop and Toto, and 3 cars have collided. Snoop, Toto, Michelangelo, all 3 have gone. And Wise Dog's retired. Wise Dog's stacked in on lap 1. So there goes. Jesus. Well, there goes my guesswork for. Jesus, that car is fucking mangled. Anyway, moving on. Bit of a scrap up here for the top spot here. And will that be a safety car? That's the question. That is an absolutely huge crash for looks for Wise Dog. He's already out. Not looking good for him so far. And you can see the top 3 just up the road there are absolutely line of stern. Big Stu, Tough Kev, Winchester. Still a yellow flag. These guys are all going to come past Wise Dog's poor crumpled car. I'm going to go on board with Wise Dog, just have a look back. Hopefully it'll let us do it. It doesn't do it, so we'll move back on the broadcast cam. And I believe there's not really any overtakes looking to be lined up here, but we have got DRS activated. This lap, of course, next lap, sorry. And fastest laps everywhere. Let's pull the Toro Rosso's got the fastest lap so far. Oh, Winnie's gone off in the background. Winchester, that's wild. What happened to Winnie? He's got to watch out here when he comes back on. Oh, even Biddy's got him. Oh, Winchester just overshot the corner there. And I think, is that damage? I don't care about his fucking rear spike that like Grosjean in qualifying when he lost his bloody half of his fucking flap on the back. Notorious, oh, he's on the back of Les Paul! Great battle in here by Notorious, will he be able to do anything? Les Paul and Notorious, Notorious really has to clear Les Paul. Oh, he ran very wide, he's pushed Notorious on the outside of the corner! Oh, great recovery there by Mike, but I think Alec's going to get down the inside. Notorious has almost lost 3 places here. Winchester moves back up to 5th place. Biddy's really profited here, he's up to 4th. Les Paul up to 3rd. So Toto's pitting, I think that was his car damaged as well there in the ball, obviously with the ruckus between him, Michelangelo and Snoop. Cars just going off everywhere at the moment. Who have we got here? We've got Neely. Welcome, Neely. Been a while since I've seen you, my man. Thank you very much, of course, from ESR compadre. Hopefully everything's going well in your life, buddy. And look at Addict here on the back of Notorious. All of a sudden, I think Notorious is going to have to come into the pits. No, he's not. Bit of a swerve down the inside. You're allowed to do it. Tough Kev with the fastest lap of the 14.6. Let's have a look here on the Notorious. Now, Addict made this work around the outside last lap, but Willie, obviously, he's a bit further behind this time. Notorious gives him a lot of room. Addict did cut the corner a little bit there. Notorious runs right. Oh, there goes Hauser, and he's gone. Oh, Hauser a little bit too close to the back, and Hauser's gone. Lap 4. More crashes, debris everywhere. There's got to be a safety car here, surely. Sid, Turtles, Snoop, all pit. Cars going off everywhere. Manic start to the RRL race, round 11 of season 8. So I'm not sure if this is a safety car. It usually does say. It doesn't say if there's a VSC. Let's have a quick look here. We'll wait for the boards on the left. I don't think anything's flashed up here. Tough Kev is absolutely rolling here at the moment. Hauser out. Goodness me. Wow, what a start. Snoop hits again. So Snoop comes out of the pits. He is in 12th position. Not the best of starts for all these guys. Paul 2K. And Sin is looking really good. He was in the mediums. He's miles behind these guys at the moment. Tough Kev gets the fastest lap. We're going to go on board here with the battle for 3rd place because this is where all the action seems to be going. And Winchester in the Ferrari is all over the back of Biddy now. Winchester seems to have had a bit of braking problems going into this corner previously. He's made up for a lot of that lap that he did last lap, which caused a crescendo effect. It's made everyone else blow up. But oh, we got a bit of a battle in the background. Here comes Addict and Notorious still going at it here. Notorious did run wide. Well held there, by the way. There was no real fault or blame there. And we're going to go up here. Biddy is only a 10th of a second. Goodness me, these guys are all over each other. Addict as well. And Notorious tries again. Notorious is really, really aggressive in this early part of the race. He's got to get the move done on Addict here, just to get himself back onto the upper echelon here. And whoa, Biddy spun! Was there contact? I don't know. I didn't catch the initial part of the crash. Oh, that's happening again. Les Paul and Winchester around the outside. Awesome battle between these two now. Goodness me, it's all happening. It's only fucking 5 laps in. Right, okay, moving on. Here we go then. Let's see what we got here. Then we've got Winchester, Big Shoot, Tough Care is taking off like a fucking rocket here. I did say the Mercedes will get there will be a Merc winning this race. I didn't anticipate Big Tough Care would be taking off that quickly. Notorious now has been put up to 5th and 6th now after the Biddy spin. Biddy, ironically, was the only guy who didn't get caught up in anything there, and all of a sudden he goes spinning off. But here we go then. Tough Kev leads. Big Stu. We've got Les Paul and Winchester in that Ferrari. Addict in the background. Let's get on board with Addict. Well, Notorious if we can. Oh, that's a much better camera angle. We're going into the first corner. And will Mike be able to do anything? No, he doesn't. He hangs back. So he is there in 6th position. Notorious. Everything to play for here, guys, with the amount, as I can just see on I'm quite far behind on my laptop. And Alzat's left the session, as is the way. He's probably fucking fuming. Another bad result here for Alzat. I think he's going to be in the Sauber next race as well, which doesn't really bode too well for him. In fact, I'll double check that. I'm not sure if that is correct, but I'll double check that information later in the Grand Prix. So we have a bit of a battle here, brewing for 3rd, based on quicker cars. Big Stu has really lost out here. I'm not sure if he actually has sustained any damage, potentially. A lot of fuel for these guys, actually, saying that. They were all over-fueled, so I'm not sure whether it allowed them to underfuel their cars. Toto Wolff with a 14.4 in the Haas. And there's a bit of a battle brewing back here. I'm just going to go on board with these two really quickly, because Toe's going to be in the DRS range. And as soon as I say that, Winchester now is all over the back of Les Paul. So we're going to switch it back up to here. But really quick, Toto is on the DRS with Snoop. We've literally flicked over at the exact right time. Toto Wolff makes light work of Snoop so far. Will Snoop be able to get a switch back? Let's have a look. He doesn't quite manage to make it work. Force India on the... obviously, as today, I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler. Force India were fucking awful today, for fairness. So it's... Usually you'd think the Force India would be able to hang with the Haas, but obviously not in this case. As you just see in the background there, Notorious just waiting behind Addict. Addict, this is perfect for his championship challenge. He is the reigning champion, of course, season 7 champion. So he will hope that he can maintain this. Winchester is still all over the back of Les Paul. So this seems to have calmed down a little bit between these guys. Let's run through and see what happens between these two on the way up towards turn 5. Right guys, Baby and Mr. back, so what I'm going to do, I'll be away for about 5 minutes. I'm going to stay on board with Winchester. Forgive me, there's going to be a lack of commentary. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes, forgive me, but I'll see, hopefully, these guys don't crash out. So apologies guys, I'll be back with you very, very shortly. Thank you very much. Sorry guys, forgive me. Oh, we got a couple of people out already. Right, that's interesting. Right, okay, forgive me guys, I'm just back. Just made the bed, but the missus forgot to do it while she was out. What on earth has happened, guys? If anyone's in the comments, let me know. I've missed quite a bit, I guess. Les Paul battling with Addict then. Right, okay, let's go on to stops just to see what everyone's done. So, Sint and Turtles are both out of the race. Here comes Les Paul on the back of Addict then. Okay, we're there. Right, so, let's have a quick check then, guys. We'll run through. Here we go, get the baby's walker out, and here we go. Right, back on commentary. Right, let's have a quick check then. Here we go. Big Stu sets the fastest lap. He's currently in 7th place, so something not bad must happen to him. Oh no, he stopped. Right, okay, so Winchester and Big Stu have stopped. Okay, then here we go. So, bit of a broken commentary, guys, forgive me here. Right, so we have then Addict and Les Paul battling for 3rd. We've got Tough Kev first. I believe he hasn't stopped yet, so nope, he hasn't stopped. Top 5 haven't stopped. So let's have a look at where everyone is. Right, so Turtles and Sint. I'm going to have to flick back there, folks. Forgive me for that. Just had to go and do some stuff. Right, so Les Paul is there, and Sint's left the session. That's not the best. I guess he's had a bit of a... Well, obviously with the disqualification in qualifying, can't really be that good for him. So here we go then. Les Paul, DRS on Addict, so he is only 4/10 down at the moment, so let's see if he can counteract that. Lap 15 of 71, long way to go here, guys. So Kev is already 8 seconds clear of Notorious, who's found himself in... Notorious finds himself in 2nd, so he's been the big beneficiary of all this. Winchester, who has of course stopped now, is good. We've got Toto running in 10th, Snoop 11th, so a maximum, I believe it's 14 points are on offer, well, a minimum of 14 points. I want to see what's obviously happened with these guys. Hopefully they can let me know on the stream if they are still watching. Forgive me guys for having a dip off. As I said, when Mrs. and the baby come back, I will be heading off for a few minutes, so forgive me there for taking a bit of time away. As you can probably hear my baby going ba-ba in the background. Alright, Wise Dog's left, so he was watching for quite a while. Wise Dog, fair play, man. Unlucky there. Oh, shit, Sint, did you crash? Right, so I'm guessing that Sint crashed in a turret then, right. Hopefully I can have a look at that. What I'll be doing as well, guys, if anyone wants to make any clips of any of the incidents or things in this race, then, baby's making noises at me, then please be sure to clip anything. If I miss anything, you know, obviously you'll be able to see it through me, but if you clip anything, any good overtakes, we may have one here. Les Paul on the back of Addict here. Addict is having an absolutely fantastic Grand Prix. So he's currently running in 3rd position, of course. Pit stops will prevail. Winchester is clear of Big Stu. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Michelangelo having a quiet race in 8th, it seems. And Biddy comes into the pits from 5th position. He will fall into the clutches of Michelangelo, I assume. So Big Stu overtakes him. Big Stu's having a nice little race here. He's a net 3rd place. So he's in a net 3rd place. Will Michelangelo be able to get Biddy? I don't think he will. Biddy's just got enough. Oh, he's cut the corner there quite badly there. Baby's trying to get involved. And Paul 2K is catching Michelangelo. So we have here, the race seems to have settled down a bit now, other than Les Paul and Addict, who are still battling for 3rd position. So we are on lap 16 of 71, guys. Just come up to just nearly a quarter of the way through the race. And here comes then, here we go, Les Paul on Addict. Lap 20, and both lap 20 they expect to come in, and Les Paul's done Addict, so Les Paul's into 3rd place. Can he now make any inroads on Notorious in the Red Bull? Les Paul, we know he's a heck of a driver, a heck of a quick driver anyway, at least. And that is going to be there. We'll move forward now. So it seems like Paul 2K is catching Michelangelo here in the background. We're going to get on board with the battle for 8th place now. Michelangelo in the Sauber. Ironically, I found, even when I was racing RRL, whenever you're in the slower car, you tend to have more successful races, weirdly. And Paul 2K is all over the back of Michelangelo now. Will Michelangelo be coming into the pits at all? I believe he will. Michelangelo pits from 8th place. Les Paul inherits the position and takes off into the distance. So, stops-wise, they've all stopped once, other than the top 4. So the top 4 now are yet to make a pit stop. Notorious found himself in 2nd position again. And this is where the race settles down. other than the fact we need... I wonder if Snoop and Michelangelo are going to get a little bit close, come out the pits here. Snoop has to go the long way around. We'll have a look now. I think Snoop will... Yeah, Snoop's got the traction to get round this. Michelangelo in 11th place. The only thing really stopping these guys now will be a safety car that will kind of bring the whole field together. But as you know, there's not really many safety cars in this Grand Prix in this game, so we'll move on from there. So basically, guys, as we saw up until lap 6, it was absolute fucking chaos. Cars going off all over the place. We saw Wisedog stack it, of course, after an instant pole 2K in the first lap. Wisedog, presumably, coming back round to the pits, stacked it on the way into the pits, which doesn't really help matters. Then Auza on the outside of Notorious and Biddy during their battle. No fault to blame, no blame, of course, at fault, or any fault given, of course. And he ended up stacking it in the wall on the outside. Sint and Turts had a separate incident, which Sint, of course, has taken full responsibility for in the comments. And we have what we have here, a quiet race. What will happen now? Will Winchester, I think it's probably the next big thing, will Big Stu catch Winchester here? These guys are kind of catching... Big Stu was about 5.5 seconds behind Winchester, unless Winnie's made a separate mistake. Lenny, thank you very much for the host, my man, superstar. Unless Winchester's made a little bit of a mini mistake, then, you know, I'm not really sure he has. He made one, of course, earlier in the Grand Prix, where he lost 3 places. But here we go then. So we sit on lap 18. Tough Kevin in the Mercedes, leading from the front, of course, at the moment. He's around about 21 seconds ahead of Winchester. So will he be able to come out in front of Winnie? That's going to be a questionable thing. Winnie did pit quite early into the Grand Prix, straight onto the harder compound of tyres, as my baby's decided to try and leap out the side of her walker, pulling a shocked face. Grab a picture of that, love, please. Do you want to leave the charger down here when you go to bed? I'll bring it back up to you when you think. No, I'm on about when you go up. Just think. Fucking baby, just pull the shot face. Anyway, back to the action. Winchester will catch Addict here. Bloody hell. Right aggressive woman tonight. Oh, bless her. She want the phone. We'll have a look here, moving on. So we have Winchester catching Addict. Big Stu sort of staying line of stern with Winchester. Interesting strategy that Big Stu's employing here. He's actually put the super soft tyres on, as opposed to Winchester's soft tyres. So will Winnie be able to make inroads into Tough Kev's advantage over him? Kev is having an absolute faultless, flawless race at the moment. Enjoying the Mercedes power, of course, as he is unfortunately low down the table for Kev. And he does pit, saying that now. So Big Kev, or Tough Kev, sorry, Big Kev, what the fuck am I on about? Getting names mixed up. Tough Kev does pit, and Notorious inherits the lead of the Grand Prix. Notorious has been kind of almost notorious for his good tyre wear, so hopefully that will work out pretty well for him. He's gone past his pit lane indicator now. Will that be kind of detrimental? Les Paul and Addict. Oh, Addict pits as well, so let's have a look where Kev comes out. Winchester flying down now. Will he overtake Tough Kev? Give Kev some... And he has got him, hasn't he? No, they're very close. Aboard with Winnie. Winnie's done it, but will Stu come out in front of Kev? Stu runs dramatically wide in turn 2 at the centre S's. And Kev now is right in front of Big Stu. Winchester is in net first place. Winchester's done Big Kev, or Tough Kev. Why do I keep calling him Big Kev? I really need to get the names right, seriously. We've been doing this for 4 weeks now. Or 5 now, actually. So here comes Kev then. He's going to be on the charge on the fresher tyres. Stu really had to get him. So we move on then. Nearly a third distance, of course, now. Over a quarter distance, 25% distance. And we roll on here then. So Addict has come out in 6th place. Biddy will be chasing him, of course, in the Force India. Then we've got Paul 2K, very, very spread out at the moment. But, of course, there is a long, long way to go. We've already lost 4 people from this Grand Prix. Michelangelo is, in effect, catching Snoop, who is not enjoying this Force India car. Snoop has had a lot of problems in almost every Grand Prix outing we've had so far this season that I've recorded. So we really, really need to hope we actually get somewhere here. And Notorious and Les Paul both pit. And I think... So Notorious comes out comfortably in 4th position. And Les Paul has done Addict. Winchester is into the lead now. There's 4.3 seconds between 1st and 3rd. With Notorious very close behind now, it must be said. So Notorious has, of course, got the jump on a couple of people here. He was in 6th position earlier in the Grand Prix, so he is up there. Will Notorious be able to kind of handle this? And he is on the softer tyre too, or the harder tyre, the soft tyre. So will he be able to maintain his advantage? Tough Kev will catch Winchester, so we are going to have a battle for the lead very soon, barring if Winchester can somehow put the hammer down in this Grand Prix. Fuel-wise, Winnie is on 1.3. They're all, actually, other than Big Shoe, on relatively the same fuel. Of course, some fuel management will be needed. Addict, of course, in the Sauber will be using a lot more fuel. Biddy's on lean mix. Very intriguing there. And Paul 2K has absolutely smashed his fuel. Just literally running for everybody. Snoop overfueled his car by quite a bit. Tough Kev sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so this is going to be interesting, seeing what he can do here. A 13.2. And nearly loses the cargo around the first part of the centre S's, so he's going to be hauling in Winchester now. Addict is actually quite close to the back of Les Paul, so Addict is keeping touch with Les Paul as well, both on the soft tyre. But he needs to make inroads on Addict, it would seem. So we move on then onto the 22nd lap, and this may be where it goes down here. Addict is keeping pace with Les Paul in the background. You can see that the top 7 are not really that far apart. In fact, everybody's not really that far apart. We're going to have a look at the gap to the leader. Only 51 seconds separating a Ferrari and Mercedes, of course, from the Sauber at the back of the grid, who's had a pit stop as well. So pretty decent pace here, it would seem. Snooper seems to be getting away now, and we have got Tough Kev here. Great shot from the back tail end of Winchester. It's the one time you actually want to see this. Two guys have broken to the 1 minute 13 so far. They are the top 2 guys. Kev's fastest lap is ridiculous compared to Winchester. And here we go. Well, the rest of the field. Tough Kev down the inside now. These two had a coming together on the final, almost the final corner in Mexico. Oh, Winchester holds the line. That was aggressive, but definitely worth the position there. Apparently Winchester's lost out his first. Four-tenths of a second separating these two. Big Shoe seems to have lost a little bit of his way here, and Notorious now is going to be on the back of Big Shoe. Stu must have made a mistake at some point, but we've got 2 battles now that we're focusing on: first and second, and third and fourth. And Big Shoe has spun off. Oh, that's heartbreaking again. I can only use you as clickbait once, Stu. Come on, my man. Jesus. Oh, that's half his wing off. The curve's not been broken for the Mercedes driver yet. And here comes Kev then on the outside now, a bit of Winchester, who's trying something new here. When he just squeezes him right as far as he can to the outside of the circuit. Big Shoe will probably need to pit, and he's going to be on the charge later in the Grand Prix. But here we go. Will Big Shoe actually pit? He's going to need to, surely. And Stu's race is heartbreaking again. Another unlucky race here. So Big Shoe goes in, and Tough Kev's got Winchester. Kev is into the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh dear, dear. Look at it, and Stu is still waiting in the pits. Stu's still in the pits. Snooper is... Stu nearly hit the wall there on the way out the pits. He nearly did it twice. So we are running now. Big Stu has fallen to 9th. Tough Kev to get the move done. There's a crash in sector 2 and 3. What's happened here? It's Notorious. What's happened to Notorious here? And what is happening with Notorious? He was on the back of Les Paul. Notorious is lagging a great deal at the moment. Are we lagging or is he lagging? This is really... He's fallen behind Addict now. Notorious is on the charge, and all of a sudden, connectivity issues or what? He's found himself in 5th place. which he's going to be on the back of Addict, so he's giving us a bit more entertainment, really, for this part of the race. The biggest entertainment we got now is to see whether Big Stu can actually contend and catch up with Toto, who's actually going to be on course to move into second place easily in this championship right now, by the way. Oh, and Motoris goes for a dive then. He needs to keep it calm. Does need to keep it calm here. Seems like Les Paul, or Winchester and Tough Kev are... I think Kev's going to take off in this particular stint, and then Winchester will be hoping to kind of get him back at the end of the Grand Prix. But we're just going to stay on board with Notorious for a little bit here. Addict seems to be just staying almost line astern with Les Paul at the moment. As my baby is still trying to get out the walker. Don't look at me like that. Evil baby. Notorious on DRS here. On Addict, not going to get the job done. Notorious, bizarre connectivity issues there for Mike. But he is here and he's rolling still. He's still in the Grand Prix. 11 runners now, 4 retirements. Wise Dog, of course, stacked it in Sector 3. I was at in Sector 1. Sint and Turtles had their own separate insert, which I did miss on screen. So that will be forgiven. Just going to stay on board. This is the main battle of the Grand Prix at the moment. Battle for 4th. Addict did put a bit of a tyre onto the grass. And Notorious got a bit of a run here. Going down the outside didn't work for him earlier in the Grand Prix. But will he be able to make it into a switchback? Addict very nice. Oh, he's tapped the back of his car and there's a bit of wing damage for Mike. Mike with a bit of wing damage there. Oh, this is getting bad to worse, I think. Go on board with that there. So we are, this is the battle for 4th. Will Mike's damage here? Tough Kev gets a 1 minute 13.244, slightly quicker, about a couple of hundreds quicker than his previous fastest lap. And we have Biddy then in the background, not a million miles away from these two here. Biddy's doing what he needed to do, sitting in 6th position, moving gradually up the cars. Once he does move up from here, he's going to be in the Williams again, Biddy. So this is the first car we saw him in. And Notorious now, he's going to make a move. Winchester pits for the second time. Notorious makes the move, taking up 2 places here, up the inside of Addict, and moves calmly into 3rd position. Obviously after Winchester's pit stop, Winnie will be pitting. Biddy, will Winnie get out in front of Biddy here? I think he'll just have the momentum, but will he have the momentum? Let's have a quick check. He does, but Biddy's in the Force India, so he's going to have more straight line speed, but not quite enough to get the job done on Winchester, so Winnie has just about come out in 5th place, almost perfectly timed there. So will Notorious now be able to catch up with Les Paul? Is the question where he was, and Toto Wolff comes in for his 2nd pit stop of the afternoon. Super soft tyres not really working for people, but they're going to run him just simply for pace, I'm assuming. Snoop will come past Toto. He moves up into 9th position. And Michelangelo a bit too far behind to capitalise there. Bit of a quiet race. It's kind of settled down very, very nicely, this. So Addict will just need to kind of race on and hope that he can just really finish. I'd probably say 6th position would be the target for Addict here. Obviously, you always want to win the race, but when you've got Tough Kev absolutely out front, dominating this race, it must be said at the moment, with Les Paul 2nd. My baby has got... What book is that? My baby's playing peekaboo with an Asda book. Moving on. Addict is catching Notorious again. Is he going to be within DRS range? That is the question, with Winchester absolutely bearing down. Winchester and Notorious, of course, both former league mates of mine, way back in the early 2012 to 14 days. Addict did get DRS, so he's going to give himself a little bit of something in the meantime. But we'll just have a look here. Winchester is piling on the pressure now. Biddy, Paul 2K pit, so Biddy is going to be absolutely away here. Will Big Stu be able to come out from a Paul 2K? I assume so. Yes, he does. Big Stu moves into 7th place. He's going to be the man on the mission later in the Grand Prix, holding in Biddy, of course. And Winchester is all over the back of Addict. He has to make light work of that Sauber. I'd almost wait for the straight even if, you know, it would seem that going round through this corner is the way forward. Will Winnie go for an auspicious dive? He doesn't do it. He's going to wait for the straight, I'm assuming. We all know, everyone who likes F1, even people who don't like F1, know how bad the Sauber car is, and everyone is familiar with the reputation of the Ferrari. So he's getting the lines set up, getting the aggressive streak on Winnie. He needs to get perfect exit out of this corner, which he does. And this really is a formality, unless Addict just finds some pace out of nowhere here, which he, of course, is going into Rich Mix to try and halt Winnie's charge. But DRS here from the Ferrari, it's almost a formality, either on this straight or the next one. Winnie doesn't get the move done on the straight. I think just about has enough to hold him in. It's good at Winnie. Spun. Oh, Winnie clips his car. He's trying ever so hard to overtake him. Will that give him a better exit? It doesn't, and he's going to have to wait for this lap coming up, unfortunately. Later in the lap, maybe even next lap. So, Addict still maintains 4th position. Winchester 5th. And the next battle we have on track, I'm assuming, is going to be further down the grid. It's going to be Toto Wolff absolutely hauling Snoop in here. Toe seems to have got the bit between his teeth. He needs to beat Snoop, get himself 9th place, which will in turn give him a couple of extra points on the RRL table. We will look at the table, of course, but Addict here will be championship leader come the end of this Grand Prix. It is pretty much certain if he can just keep on doing what he's doing. And we're going to have a bit of a battle here. Winchester! And Biddy. Winnie had a mistake here. Biddy's caught back up to Winchester. Something must have happened there that I missed. What's she doing holding it behind her head? Fool. So, no one's going to read that book. Anyway, Addict, and it's really, really settled down. So Winnie is 4 seconds behind again now, so Winnie had a bit of a mistake behind the back of Addict, I'm assuming. I know he was kind of a little bit loose winged there, to be fair, but we are now going to wait and see what he can do if he can march back at the field. He's bringing Biddy into the fray here. If Force India had better cornering, Biddy would be able to hang with that Ferrari, but he doesn't have as good cornering ability. Winnie runs quite wide into the second corner again there, pushing ever so hard in this Ferrari. Of course, he did see his second position lead slip away, of course. Addict just up the road. That will take a few laps to catch back up with, I'm assuming, or a couple of laps anyway. And we're going to go on board now with the 9th place battle between Snoop and Toto, as Toe is catching up with Snoop here. DRS is going to be activated very soon, nearly at half distance. Snoop goes defensive already. That was almost too early to go defensive. As you saw in the real race, guys, I'm not going to drop any spoilers with names, but when you move out of the racing line, when someone has DRS, it's almost like a slip through. Thank you very much. Wham bam, how's your mama? Snoop goes very, very early on the brakes there. Toto not so early, and great cornering here by Toto. Will he be able to get Snoop? Battle for 9th place is hotting up here, which has already put 2 seconds on Biddy, by the way, going back up there. Toto Wolff, this should be bread and butter this. Up the inside of Snoop, Snoop's hanging it round. Toto darts up the inside, Snooper down to 10th place. Toto moves up into 9th position. Great move there by Toe. Back up to the battle for 3rd position. Or 4th, sorry, forgive me. Notorious has pulled away from Addict a little bit, 2.2 up the road. Notorious 3.8, he's falling back a little bit, about a 10th every couple of seconds here on Les Paul, so he's doing his business, Les Paul here, keeping himself in a very, very nice second position in that Toro Rosso. That's where you want to be, high up the field. Addict and Winchester. Sorry, I'm back. Winchester is in 5th position, catching Addict. He's only 6 tenths down now. The speed of this Ferrari is mental. If he can just... He's the only Ferrari left after Weisstock's earlier stack on lap 1. If he can just manage to make it through, Big Stu is 21 seconds behind Biddy. He's not enjoying this car, it seems. And I know Big Stu's had a lot of controller problems, of course, recently, as he has said. But we will double-check his tyre life. His tyres look alright. Don't really see any markings on him. We'll go back up to the Winchester Addict battle, which has, in Winnie's eyes, been raging on a lot longer than what it should have been. But Winnie now is on Rich Mix. He will get DRS. This now will be a formality, surely to God. Get himself in the slipstream. Dart to the inside. There you go. Straight into the inside. 4th. Will Addict be able to hang it around the outside? Championship leader, reigning champion, 4th position. Nice and easy. Well done, Winnie. On to Notorious you go. Addict having a bit of a run back at Winnie, but obviously this looks like it's almost done and dusted. We just need to see if Biddy can haul in Addict here. He has been catching him ever so slowly. Big Stu has been catching also quite slowly. 2 stops here for Big Stu, Paul 2K and Toto Wolff. All doing okay at the moment, it seems. Winnie is hauling Addict in. 4 position changes, guys, for Les Paul, Notorious and Addict. 3 for Snoop and Michelangelo, of course, based on the retirements. And of course, 5 positions for Stu. He's had the worst look out of anybody here today. So we're going to go on board with Winchester. He's catching Notorious. Almost one for nostalgia, me watching these two. I never got the ability to commentate on these when I was obviously racing. So, going to be good to watch these two. And Snoop pits. Snoop, just as Snoop does, just finishing every race. Of course, if you are within 30, if you're under 40 points behind, come the last race of the season, you have an opportunity with RRL to win the RRL Championship. That's how it was. I've been involved in this position, I think it was back in Season 5, I believe. I was involved in the Championship scrap. It went down to the final race with 5 of us, and all 5 of us finished. So you can see, I was kind of hoping there, but anyway, that's nostalgia. Let's get back to the real deal here. So we've got Winchester here, 1 second behind Notorious. Both have had incident-filled races, and both find themselves here with a shout at the final podium position for 31 points, I believe. So this is where this comes down to. I will just double-check the table now, guys, while I'm here. Give me 1 moment. Load this up here. Been waiting for this to load for about an hour, but it's finally loaded. So we'll click that button here, as Winchester is only half a second behind this scrap. As Winchester is all over the back of Notorious now. Now will Notorious, he doesn't need to pit, he's on the... Ignore the colour of the tyres. These two old rivals going side by side, and Winchester seems to have the move done here. But Notorious will get DRS into turn 3. But let's have a little look here. Does he do anything about it? Winchester, nice and easy move there. He's up in a 3rd place, and he needs now to haul in Les Paul, and then to think about doing something about Tough Kev up front, who is 26.5 seconds clear of RRR Winchester here. So we are nearly at half distance, guys. Biddy pits in, and Big Stew... Biddy, I don't think it was a wing change there. So it was a generic pit stop. Here comes Big Stew, and he's going to overtake him. These two old RL originals. So Big Stew has jumped Biddy. Paul 2K is somewhere down the road, of course. He's not quite in the vicinity. It is very, very settled down here now. So we will, other than Snoop and Michelangelo there coming together, so this is the battle for 10th here. Sauber versus Force India. It should be a formality, really. As once the battling stops between these two and the race calms down, I will head off for my mid-race stinger. Michelangelo runs a bit wide there. And there goes Snoop up into 10th position, guys. I will get on board with Winchester, as he is the feature car for this particular moment. I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. Just going for a quick cigarette. Thank you. So guys, as we currently sit a little bit kind of later in the race now, lap 37, just about half distance, my cigarette break is done, so you have me for the whole of the afternoon now, or the evening. So forgive me for the kind of breaking the action there, guys, forgive me. My stream's frozen, hopefully it hasn't all round. So we do have Winchester 1.1 seconds away. We're going to look at the table now, guys. Addict is on 214. Third position, of course, as I said, does give you 31 points, so Winchester currently has that. He is catching Les Paul, though, so that is a difference 4 points, which should be good. If Winchester manages to grab himself a total of 35 points here, that'll put his tally, of course, he has been boosted up a little bit due to the fact he did join mid-season to get himself into the car allocation. That there will give him 162 points, which will, in effect, put him above, well, he's going to be above Auzat, definitely, because Auzat did crash, but no, the only guys who are in danger of doing a multiple, well, Kanic, of course, will be in a Sauber, I believe, next weekend, based on what the results are showing at the moment. We're going to basically keep that going. What you doing? Oh, God. So here we go, Winchester is now, well, he's 1.6 down. Les Paul seems to be able to put the heat down every so often. They're actually coming around to lap someone, I believe. I believe that's Michelangelo just in front of them. No, it's not. I believe it is Snooper. So Michelangelo has been lapped, and he is pitting, of course, Michelangelo now. He needs to finish the Grand Prix, of course, otherwise he will be in a Sauber next week, of course, as well, or maybe even a McLaren even. We haven't seen that car for a while here. Cookie usually is in the McLaren, but of course Cookie is a no-show, unfortunately, here. Would have been good. And Snoop runs wide here, and nearly goes into the side of Addict. So good move in there. Snoop needs to move out the way of Winchester here. He's a lap down. Snoop, very, very good there. Ran off the track a little bit there, Snooper. So he is there now. He is in 10th position, comfortably ahead of Michelangelo. So Snoop just needs to keep it calm. Paul 2K has caught Biddy up. There's only 8 tenths per second between these two. We'll flick back and forth between this battle and the battle for 7th place between those two guys. They seem to be kind of locked into it at the moment. Oh my gosh, he grabbed that! Oh my god, it's the Eddie, you're an absolute animal. That's what she wanted. So Winchester now is running here 7 tenths of a second now. He's going to get DRS now on Les Paul. Les Paul's been very competitive in all the races we've watched. He's always been in the top half of all of these. I believe Snooper may be coming into the pits again. Snoop, no, he's not. He went very narrow into the... There we see Snooper in the background, 10th position, 33 seconds behind Toto. And we have got this. I'm going to go on to Paul 2K and Biddy very quickly. These two seem very, very close together. And here we go. Williams versus Force India. Very similar cars. Williams has been nerfed, Force India has been bolstered, especially in the patch here. So we've got these two now side by side almost in a way. Let's have a look now. We've had a look at the table here. We're going to get back off this. Let me have a quick check now. It's a Facebook notification, not a message, so we don't need to look at that. So here we go. How is the stream looking, guys? Everything okay at the moment? Just want to ask because mine's frozen on the laptop, so you have to agree. And Winchester and Les Paul are very close as well, so we're going to be flicking between these two battles. Very interested, especially in the Paul 2K Biddy battle, because them two are both in similar cars. Winchester, though, needs to get past Les Paul very soon on the quicker tyre and running. Obviously, I believe he's got more fuel than Les Paul as well. Les Paul's running lean on fuel here. Very smart strategy. I believe he's going to go into Rich here. He does. So he's running Rich down the final part of the straight. Let me know, guys, if the stream is running okay. I do need to know. I just want to make sure. Mine's obviously frozen because it's just shit, to be honest with you. Because I'm on the laptop. But here we go. Winchester DRS here. This should be a formality. Will he be able to get the move done here? Wrong way here. Will he be able to do it? He's not gone for the move. He's saving it for the next straight, I'm assuming. Get a good run out of this corner. And he does. He's had a fantastic run. Will he be able to do Les Paul here? We'll find out now. DRS get into the toe. That is an awful camera angle. He's gone to the outside here. Les Paul goes defensive there. Hangs it onto the apex of the corner and parks it. Stops Winchester getting through. We're going to go back to the Biddy Paul 2K battle here. They've got DRS as well. Or Paul 2K is on Biddy, so let's have a look what he can do. Much better camera angle that there. That's much more kind of advantageous. Stream looks fine, good stuff. Obviously, it's just me on mic at the moment, so like I said, if I have to head off for any reason, I will try and get you the best action I can, so you can watch it, obviously, while my voice isn't available. So, Winchester is all over the back of Les Paul. Still, this seems like an ongoing theme, this here. Winchester, he will need to pit again. There's still quite a long way, 31 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Kev is just away, and Tough Kev does pit, by the way, though. So Kev should come out in first. He's gone to the soft tyre. They should last to the end. Onto the battle behind him. Kev will come out easily in first. He's coming down the main straight now. Tough Kev has absolutely lit this race up. He's been fantastic here today. Done what he needed to do. Took off. Les Paul and Winchester together still. He can't get the move done. Les Paul's driving really, really well here at the moment. Well, Les Paul does have more fuel than Winchester, so he's got more backup here. Let's have a look at them. But he's on the back of him, he can't quite get the move done. Oh, he's gonna get. Oh, he's got on the inside though. When he's got the move done. Down the outside, this is an unconventional passing place. If he can get that grip done, and he's got the grip done, is he going to stay on the inside? He does. Winchester around the outside, an improbable passing position. Moves himself up to second place, and now he's within sight of Kev. She wants her, she'll have her. That's the way it works. Winchester now leaves Les Paul. Hopefully that will be the end of that battle for Winchester's sake at least. He needs to now take off and look at closing in on Kev, but Kev will have much fresher tyres, even though they're the harder compound. This shouldn't really be too much of a problem for Kev, to be fair. And here comes Winchester then. He is away, and we're going to go back on board with Paul 2K and Biddy. Biddy seems to have kind of upped it to another level here. Both guys running in lean mix around this complex. So line astern advantage. Biddy, of course, being the car further up the field. Further around the track, of course. He can put the power down, control his pace on lean mix. Biddy, of course, a wheel user. I believe Paul 2K may be a wheel user as well now, but we'll obviously, if these guys watch this, they'll be able to confirm that later on in the Grand Prix. So here we go. Let's have a look now on this here. 9/10 of a second now behind is Les Paul and Winchester. I think this race is about to calm down a little bit now. Watching Notorious now, and Big Stu pits again. He'll be coming in for the medium tyre, I believe. He's going all the way to the end now, Big Stu. It's been a kind of a tumultuous race for him here just to get to the end. He's not looking good in the championship either. He'll need big points next weekend when we go to Spain, of course. Mercedes is a big it's a big Mercedes track, so I get my words wrong. And now this is looking pretty static now. And Big Stu does come out of the pits behind Toto, so he's got someone to chase. But Toto is on 2 compounds softer than him. Tough Kev with the fastest lap racer in the 12s now, so Tough Kev does a 1:12.7. What a lap that is! And he's 4.3 seconds clear of Winchester all of a sudden. Kev is putting the hammer down, doing what he needs to do. If he could pull out a 20-second gap, Winnie runs very wide out of turn 2 there. And this now is looking good. We're going to go back on board with Big Stu because he's going to be the man on a mission here. He'll need to be as he chases down Toto. RRL Original's in a bit of a scrap here. The other RRL Original, Biddy, is in 6th position, handling life very nicely against Paul 2K. So this race is really static at the moment, it seems. You can tell Big Stu is always fighting the car. He seems to be fighting it an awful lot this race. Look at they just... And it has now settled down. So guys, it's been a very interesting race so far. As we said, the 4 retirements so far, Turts and Sint in an uncaptured incident. They have had a big crash there, they're both out. Went to go around the outside earlier of Winchester, or Notorious and Biddy earlier, sorry. He then stacked into the wall, no fault of anybody's. Kev does a 1:12.3. Kev is absolutely blitzing this at the moment. And he takes off. So really the biggest thing we've got is really Big Stu's come back through the field, and he won't need to pit again. So Big Stu is the next guy who's going to be round. We're going to go on board with Kev then, just to see what happens. Just about on the same straight as Winchester, but obviously pulling away. We'll go on board with Stu again to see where he's up to. He's a second down. He seems to lose ground going into corners, I've noticed, Stu. Almost like he runs a little bit too wide each time, but he's doing pretty well in finish. He's going to finish, which is going to grant him a big haul of points here, of course. 28. I believe it's 18 points for 9th position. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'll just double check. And Big Stu's caught Toto here. Let's watch what happens going down the straight. Let's have a little look. As we're getting close towards the back end of the race now, 26 laps to go. So these guys are running line of stern here, 8th and 9th. Will Stu be able to make any headway on Toto? You'd think so, being in the Mercedes car. But of course, it seems like almost the Mercedes is almost a jinx in this season. barring Sint, of course, and Kevron here, because he's absolutely lighting it up, and he's on the harder tyre, of course, in Winchester. Winnie's super softs are very old, he'll be pitting soon, and will fall down to 5th place behind Addict again, so he's going to have to make his way back through the field. As Big Stu is coming round, oh, he's got a much better run on Toto. The two cars touch nearly. Toe does run sideways, did that bit of contact, forced Toe off the track. Remains to be seen, but either way, Stu has moved up into 8th position. Stu in 8th. So here is Stu then running round. He has escaped here. He now needs to put the hammer down and get away from Toe. It seems like he's already done it based on Toe's kind of mistake. So Notorious just having a quiet one. He needs all the points he can get. He needs to get in a quicker car. He needs to get himself back into the championship hunt. Biddy is 16 seconds behind Addict. He needs to really overtake Addict, you'd think, wouldn't you, in the Sauber, but Addict's ability is keeping him where he needs to be right now. Big gaps between the whole field then. As we'll actually have a little look at the penalty board. Let's have a look at the race director. We have a lot of collisions in the first lap. No penalties here for corner cutting. Guy's doing really well. Shu could be in danger. He's had 2 warnings there. We just saw straight off the bat. Not kind of picking on him. Just it's the first one I saw that. And it has settled. Addict has actually pitted, guys. That's an interesting part. Sorry, I didn't even realise that. I was just literally watching the cars go around. Addict has pitted. He's come out in 7th place, which means that I believe Big Stu is 18 behind him. Addict has come out, and Biddy now is up to 5th position. Now, the question is, will Addict be able to do anything about Paul 2K on worn super soft tyres? It'd be interesting to see. Addict now on the fresher tyre. Put on a hell of a show so far on them tyres, of course, as well. So let's have a double check now. 1 second down, so he is catching Paul 2K, but will the Sauber be a little bit too inferior of a car to kind of handle the Williams on the straights? He's going to have to do this in the corners, isn't he, really? As is the way with this particular car. Anybody new to the stream, guys, please be sure to drop a follow on the channel. Every single one is absolutely vastly appreciated. Please do so. It will, of course, help out any future streams. Obviously, the more people that follow, the further we get towards that target of 300, which I've set myself. I think I've actually failed my monthly target on Twitch this month, but I did have about a 2-week break in comparison. So we're not doing that bad. I did have DRS here, didn't really use it the whole way down the straight. Didn't really, the Sauber's braking has almost got as much braking cycle as a fucking BMX with no brakes, so it's probably not the best thing. Addict's all over the back, and he's having a much better run here than Paul 2K. So he's actually got himself on DRS here. And he's on the back of him. So Addict, this is the battle for 6th position. Gives us something to watch. This race has been a little bit more quiet than the other races that we've seen with RRL, but the guy's still putting on quite a good show here tonight. So up in the 6th position battle is the main one at the moment. Toto is behind Big Stu. Big Stu is not catching up with the guys in front, unfortunately. But I think he's put about a second on him in about a lap and a half. But obviously the medium tyre will have a negative effect, especially as it's a little bit more worn. Biddy there just up the road, 3.3 ahead of Paul 2K. Attic is now chomping at the bit here. And we've got Les Paul and Notorious. Winchester and Les Paul both in the pits. So Notorious has been... Let's have a look. Whoa, Winchester comes out. Les Paul has jumped Winchester in the pits. When he must have had wing damage, Les Paul has just jumped Winchester in the pits. So that spices that up a little bit, and here comes Biddy in the background. Obviously we've got the battle for 6th position here in the background. Yeah, he'll be fuming, won't he? Well, he yeah, don't give a shit. Battle for 6th position then. Here we go then. Addict is still on the back of Paul 2K, still is. But we've got another battle here. Winchester and Les Paul now. Winchester already with the psychological advantage, overtaking Les Paul on the outside up here earlier, showing that it can be done. Les Paul is on the super soft tyre now. Both these guys will, in theory, be running to there. Les Paul runs dreadfully wide there. Winchester gets the move done already. So now when he can haul in Notorious, he should be able to at a rate of knots again here. But if Notorious goes to the end, 22 laps, it is possible. He didn't pit too long ago, Mike. So, will he be able to? Michelangelo doing what he needs to do, just to run through him. Addict and Paul 2K having a battle here, side by side. Oh, he just spotted that. Here we go. Addict with an unbelievable run around the outside. Paul 2K. Every time not Addict it is, weirdly, on broadcast cam. Let's get back on TV pod mode. Paul 2K with a low connection all of a sudden. Paul 2K's connection has dropped down to 1 bar, it seems. So what happened there, I don't know. So we have then Portig and Addict. Addict has actually done Portig. That's an impressive move. Toto pits in. Will Snooper be able to compete with him? So, baby shot in the background. Yes, Sienna, you're on stream. So Toto come round, and these two are going to be very close. Snooper's going to have the kind of momentum here, but Toe does have the tyres, which means Toto should just about be able to get in front of Snoop, which he does. Last ball seems to have been overtaken by Winchester. Winchester's put 5 seconds on Notorious. So Winchester 10.8, 10.6 down, I believe now on Notorious. So Winchester 9.6 seconds down on Les Paul Notorious pits. So that should probably move him into the Addict and Biddy battle here, it seems. Saying that, Biddy has been caught up quite a bit by Addict here. So here we go. Notorious in the pits. Biddy coming down now. In fact, he's going to get jumped by both here. Paul 2K pits in, so Notorious will be returning in about 6th here. He has been overtaken by Addict already. Notorious come out the pits. He will be chasing down Addict, but Biddy is also being caught in by the Sauber driver, who's having a fantastic Grand Prix here, it seems. 37 seconds now between Winchester and Tough Kev, who just simply is having the race of his life. Paul 2K, Big Stu here, has overtaken Paul 2K, so he's going to the end. In fact, all of these guys are going to be going to the end now. Toto is nowhere near, of course, so that back group seems settled. It's all whether Addict can do Biddy here, so this is the closest battle on track at the moment. Just under 7/10 of a second. Addict almost seems like he's on rails the way he's handling that car at the moment. Just incredible speed, incredible sort of handling through corners, catching up with the Force India, which is pretty bad round there. It seems to lag when I go on Paul 2K. It's weird how it does it. That was actually my game lag as well, though, can I just let you know, that was my game lag. And Addict here is all over. Addict at the inside of Biddy here. And Sauber overtakes Force India. Addict is on the absolute charge. Addict moves up to 4th place. Absolutely unexpected. 9 seconds off the guy. Oh, look. I believe is that Snoop just in front of them? Oh, it is as well. Snoop just managing to get out of the way in time there. Big Stu does have a 3-second penalty for the corner cuts. That's come up on the bottom. So now he's 14 seconds behind Notorious. Biddy is still all over the back of Addict. So he's not letting him get away. And Biddy, runs a bit wide there. Snooper just behind him. Might as well just stay a line of stern. Snoop's not really going to get much more than the 10th position here. He's just got to really focus. If you do hear baby noises, guys, don't worry about it. She's on one at the moment. She's trying to escape the walker. So, I'm doing noises back. She's currently walking around in her car. Oh, Biddy pits. Surprising there, gets himself a bit low down on the speed. I was about to say going into the pits. Big Shoe will probably get him here, as will Paul 2K. It's going to be closer than Biddy and Paul 2K. So Big Shoe overtakes Biddy, Paul 2K and Biddy line astern again. Paul 2K gets a good line here. I think Paul 2K's got him actually. Just Paul 2K does overtake him. So 36.1 the gap up front. It's a lot quieter this race than what the other races have been for RRL. It seems like these guys got himself nice and spread. Some good overtaking maneuvers. Winnie has got overtake of the race so far on the outside on Les Paul. But it seems like Les Paul isn't being dropped by Winchester, it seems. And Addict is slowly being caught by Notorious. I believe that Biddy went onto the soft tyre. That's a guarantee to the end, that is basically. Knowing what tyres you have left. Knowing what you have to do. Notorious now with a 3.4 gap up front to Addict. I believe that is Snoop just in front of him. Coming up to be lapped. Bloody controller's playing up again. 2 laps down, Michelangelo on the leader, of course, now. As you say, just get through the race, get to the end, get out of that Sauber car, of course. Best way to say. Biddy is going to be catching Paul 2K at the end of the race. He's on fresher tyres than Paul 2K. Notorious needs to clear Snoop ASAP to get himself towards Addict now and potentially get himself... Oh, that's a nice bit of driving by Snoop. Giving himself perfect amount of line, not really losing too much time in their kind of let through there, so to speak. What a corner that was. If you can pull that off, that was great. He's put literally 0.6 of a second on him. So Notorious is 2.5 down now on Addict fighting through. Biddy and Paul 2K seem quite static there in their gaps. Big Stu is... Has Paul 2K come at the back of him really quickly here? Very quickly. What's happened to Big Stu? More woes for Stu, and then medium tyres not really working what you would think they would do on the Mercedes. Paul 2K now is in DRS range, so this is interesting. This is the battle for 6th position. The battle at Big Stu at the start of the race. Wouldn't have dreamt of being involved, but he is involved in it. So here comes Paul 2K then, with DRS. He's on the back of him. Couldn't quite get the move done there. It's a good line through here, but Stu gets a much better line out of the corner. Plus a good few temps on Paul 2K and does escape. Paul 2K does have DRS. Get back on board with Notorious now just to see this battle through. He is catching Addict at quite a rate. He's put 2 seconds on him in 2 laps here, which you would expect a Red Bull to do run a corner-orientated track such as Interlagos, having the downforce superior to the Sauber, of course. Gap now 1.4 seconds, guys. Paul 2K is still on the back of Big Stu. Where is Tough Kevin all this? He's absolutely miles away. 35 seconds. He's claimed this victory easily here. So, good stuff. Paul 2K now all on the back of Big Stu. This is the next battle in the race. Here he comes. Paul 2K all over Big Stu now. Big Stu goes incredibly defensive early on. Will Paul 2K take the bait? Will he bite? There's a front wing off there. I don't know whose that was. Looks like a Sauber, actually. Paul 2K makes a very... Oh, a bit of collision there with Big Stu, but a nice move. Big Stu back down the inside here. And Paul 2K muscles his way back into the lead. 6th position for Paul 2K, but Big Stu will have the advantage here. And amazingly, the race leader, Tough Kev, is following these two. He's going to have to move out of the way, Big Stu, of the race leader. Big Stu does move very nicely out of the way of Kev, who's lapping the battle for 6th. An incredible battle here, which means Biddy's back in the battle. So there we are, we've got the battle now. Biddy has caught Big Stu. There's literally about 9 tenths of Big Stu on the inside. Contact. And he's done Paul 2K. An aggressive move for Big Stu, but moves himself back into 6th. But Biddy's now caught the fray. Big Stu runs wide. Takes out the 50-metre ball while doing it. Paul to get another collision up the inside of him. Baby give me great sound effects here. All three, this may go 3 wide here if Biddy gets the angle and the move right. Side by side 3-way battle. And it seems that Big Stu has just won out on this occasion. So there we go. We've got Biddy now chasing down Paul 2K. The 3 guys all battling hammer and tongue. And look up here, Notorious all of a sudden has caught up with Addict. Very, very quietly getting on with his business. So Notorious about 9 tenths. We're going to go back on board with these 3 guys. So there we go, we've got the battle between 6th position still raging on. It seems like these guys are pretty much static in moving any further up the field, barring any misdemeanors. And Biddy almost has a run at the inside of Paul 2K. Paul 2K saw it coming. So the battle for 6th is almost a battle for 7th. Big Stu seems to have just about escaped for now. If Biddy doesn't make any moves here though and just stays on the back of 2K, this means that Big Stu will be up there. Addict has put another half a second on Notorious, it seems, just on the split timing. We're going to have to watch this because Big Stu, Paul 2K and Biddy, will Biddy get a better run than Paul 2K now? There's a little bit of an inciting look up the inside, just thinks better of it. Big Stu leading the way in 6th position, tough as a lap these guys. So these guys only now have 12 laps to go as opposed to 13 as you would expect them to. But we are now running, we're following Paul 2K quite a bit because he's right in the middle of this battle here at the moment. We'll get on board with Biddy, see if we get a better camera angle, which we absolutely don't. But here we go then. Big Stu, we need to watch what Big Stu does here. But look, in the background we've got Addict and Notorious in the scrap for 4th place. Remember, Biddy does have a 3-second penalty, but obviously the guys wouldn't be aware of that, of course, based on the current running of things. So Big Stu runs wide then. Opens up the door for another bit of a move, which has created another 3-way battle again. Paul 2K down the inside there. Biddy's just got to be patient here and wait for the opportune moment to strike. So the battle now between... Oh my god, look at this! I'm going to have to flip between the 2. TV pod, Addict goes defensive. Paul 2K is only about a 10th down as well. Notorious will not be able to get the move down. We're going to go back to Paul 2K here. Bloody hell, Paul 2K makes a late dive up the inside. Couldn't quite get the move done. Notorious still there with Addict. The Notorious runs a little bit wide, just keeps it off the grass. Keeps the momentum going. We're literally flicking back and forth between the 2 battles now. So Notorious trying to get 4th position. He's pretty much lost out on everything else in this race. He just needs to get the 4th, which would be absolutely perfect for him. Battle for 6 still raging on. Big Stu, Paul 2K, who now needs to run lean around this part of the course. Of all people to say, Big Stu does have the fuel advantage as well, so he here, just simply by running standard mix, is keeping a bit in reserve, so to speak. And Notorious now has a bit of a run and Addict, a huge run. Will he be able to get the job done here? Red Bull versus 2016 Ferrari engine. Here we go, Notorious up the inside. This should be a formality, but because of Addict's unbelievable car system and ability, it's not a formality, which means Notorious cannot get past Addict. And now this is 2K's best run on Stu yet. Switching back onto the battle down there. Notorious couldn't get the job done, but we're going to have to go back to Paul 2K really quickly here. He's on the run with Big Stu. He's in the tow. He's in the slipstream. Will he be able to break slipstream? No, he won't, but then we're going to go on board with Biddy because 2K is going to compromise his line. Biddy just riding the curve very nicely there, not be able to kind of do anything about that. And Notorious on the outside. What a move this will be. Gets the position done, and Mike Notorious up to 4th. Move around the outside there by Mike, rivaling Winnie's move, almost a bit better than Winchester's move actually. Great stuff for him. Great move there by Notorious. Round the outside of Addict. Will he be able to do anything about Les Paul? I don't think so, but Les Paul is catching Winchester at a rate of knots here. 2.9 seconds now down to from 4.5. So we're going to have to watch that now then. And Big Stu really tight there. Oh, Biddy's just lost a bit of his wing. Biddy in the background, late on the brakes. Almost underestimating that fact. And I think this may be Biddy coming into the pits here, or just riding it out and getting himself to the end. Michelangelo, I believe, is 3 laps down on the leader now, by the way, guys. 2 laps, sorry, forgive me. And everybody here, up to Addict, is a lap down. An amazing, amazing drive by Kev. I think Biddy now should just really concentrate on getting 6th position, hoping that the guys up front do make a bit of a mistake. Just chilling out, kind of cementing his 8th place. I don't know how much wing damage Biddy did actually get. We're just going to double check now on the camera. Aye, a lot of damage on the right hand side of the car. You can see there the end plate is completely almost off. As we're on board with 2K now, just basically wrapping up the last remaining laps, guys. 9 laps left of the Grand Prix. It's been an interesting one. Forgive me, it's been a little bit distracted, guys. It kind of happens. Daily life. So we are running here, and I believe that is Michelangelo coming up to be lapped here by the guys. Or is it? No, that's Kev. Is that Kev? Kev? Oh, sorry, it is Kev, of course, yes. Kev just doing what he needs to do at the moment. Les Paul back to 3.9 seconds. Winnie must have made a mistake there at some point. 2K. Still with Big Shoe, of course. Biddy with his damage will now tail off a little bit here. He's just going to have to really rely and maintain on grabbing his 8th place, as we said, and wait for Paul 2K and Big Shoe to really potentially have a scrap. These two are still, Paul 2K, remember Big Shoe's nearly on 30 odd lap old tyres, well he will by the end of the race, so this is going to be where he reacts at the moment. So let's see what happens with these two. This is really the main battle of the Grand Prix, guys. So we are rolling here. Tough Kev leads, 36 seconds clear of Winchester, further 4 back to Les Paul, further 10 back to Notorious. Addict 2.8 down, great stellar drive here, 5th position for Addict. Big Stu and Paul 2K still locked in that battle for 6th position. Big Stu seems to have won out on it for the moment. We've got Biddy in 8th position, Toto will 15 down on Biddy in 9th. Snoop about half a lap behind Toe in 10th, and Michelangelo just really doing what he needs to do in that Sauber, picking up some good points in that Sauber in 11th place. Back onto the Paul 2K and Big Shoe battle. A lot of TV time for them guys. They're the closest guys on track. Tough Kev, just really running in the lead, not really doing too much here, just chilling out in front of these guys. As we go on to Paul 2K, he's still within the DRS range, so there is still the potential of a battle here. So 9/10 of a second, down to 7. Paul 2K runs dramatically wide, nearly a mistake there by Paul 2K. Well, it was a mistake. Eight tenths of a second between Stu and Paul 2K, down to 7 tenths. Paul 2K's on a much better run here at the moment. Just trying to get a good pickle. So we have then 5 tenths, and this is Big Stu has a really, really good exit route of these corners, which basically gives. But no, Paul 2K's an even better one here. So we've got Big Stu then lining up here. Lap 64 for Kev, 63 for these guys. 7 more to go at the end of this one. Paul 2K is still within reason. Biddy is. Oh dear me, shouldn't have made that move, Paul 2K there. Bad move there, unfortunately. And Tough Kev gets the 1:11.7, just wants to solidify his kind of pace in this Grand Prix. Why did Paul 2K do that? It was almost a dodgy move there up the inside, but anyway. Moving on. Paul 2K's run wide again. Has he got damage? He has at the front left. He was just there though, isn't it? Big Shoe got hit off there. That's... I don't know what RRL's kind of punishment method is, but that is... Paul 2K does pit. He's lost wing. I think this is... Yeah. This is damage limitation. But ironically, now that incident's happened, he's going to drop to 9th place here, because Toto is within reach of him. Forgive me if I keep going quiet, guys. I'm talking to missus and baby, so like I said, you'll have to forgive me. So Toto is coming round, and Toto moves up into 8th position. Paul 2K's audacious move. And no, he's just come into the pits jar. I think he's saved... I think that would be classified as a punishment here for himself, but I don't know what's on his mind with this. Coming into the pits relatively early, or late into the race. I believe that is Winchester behind him now. He's come up to lap him, Winchester. Just gets out of the way. He knows that this race is now done for him. This one. So the battles are all dried up then, unless here Toto manages to make a move on Big Shoe, which is possible. 1.5 seconds down now, with 3 laps to go. Grab that, love. Got it? Lovely jubbly. She'll make a fucking dresser now, and you won't have to bloody worry about a squiver. So the battle now could be for 7th position. Biddy here has profited. Sector 2, Sector 3, what's happened here? Brief yellow flag. I think it might be someone getting out of the way. I don't really know. Interestingly, Notorious has caught Les Paul. Maybe it was Les Paul that had the incident at the exit of Sector 2 and entrance to Sector 3. And now this is Sector 1 and 2. What's going on here? And Winchester's retired! Oh my god, 2nd place is out of the race! 3 to go. He's gone. Stacked it on 69. Oh my days. Good grief. And the worst part is everybody will come past you. That obviously due to the lateness of this, which means the battle for Les Paul and Notorious is now for 2nd place. Will Notorious get back-to-back seconds, of course? I think it was 2nd though. He had 2nd in Mexico, didn't he? But amazing driving here by these guys. Will Notorious, of course, be able to get Les Paul? Les Paul, another podium here. That's going to really bolster his championship. And Addict as well. Winchester, oh goodness me. Heartbreak for Winchester. Toto's caught Big Shoe. Big Shoe, ironically, he's going to... The guy who was battling earlier in the Grand Prix, Winchester, has ironically crashed out now. Toto has got a 3-second penalty. I believe that's for corner cut, and that's not going to really cause him much grief. He's literally about half the track ahead of Paul 2K, based on Paul 2K's, what about, I think it's 10 seconds, isn't it, I think, in the reshot. It's showing 1:14, but that isn't the correct amount of time. But we're going to be on board with this then for the remainder of the race. 2 laps to go. Half a second. Of course, we will show you Kev when he comes across the line. I'm sure we'll be watching this very, very intently. Winchester had a comfortable 2nd place, just stacked it. Just caught the outside of the curb, I'm assuming after turn 3. Straight into the wall. Wham bam, there you go, man. Right. This, of course, is my last stream tonight, guys. We're back tomorrow with my Russia stream, my career mode. Very successful Bahrain, got 10th place. Michelangelo is still not overtaken Winchester here, and Notorious is all over the back of him here. Well, Winchester may get classified, actually, based if he can just stay ahead of Michelangelo. I believe RRL, even if they have a DNF, do classify you if you do crash out. So we are now on board uninterrupted with these two. And I think, let's have a look at Notorious. He's all over Les Paul now. Les Paul on all the tyres. You can see clearly on the front right once we get into a bit of light there. The tyres are greying for Les Paul. A lot more than they are for Notorious. Notorious on fresher rubber. Spotlight Notorious once upon a time beat me on the final lap for a final corner for a championship years and years ago, back in 2014. Or 2015, sorry. An amazing race that was. Surely like me for referencing that one. We're on the last lap here though, guys. This is it. We are now coming towards the end here. Tough Kev. It's been a race control, but we're going to be on board with Notorious really quickly here. I want to be on board with Kev when he crosses the line, but will I be able to? I believe that is Snoop getting lapped by Kev. No, it's not. It's Biddy getting lapped by Kev. Goodness me. Notorious all over the back of Les Paul. We're going to be on board, though, with Tough Kev, a guy who I've had numerous run-ins with. Great battling in the past. Tough Kev wins his first race on the Positively Glad Twitch channel. Well done. Good drive there by Kev. Solid. Biddy comes in 5th. And this is the real battle, though. Who's gonna be on what step of the podium, if at all, if they have an incident? I think Les Paul both got more than enough fuel to make it to the end. This is all about the exit they get, and Les Paul, I think, has just about done enough. Big Shoe 6th, comes across the line, damage limitation for him. Paul 2K, depends what they say. Winchester did actually get overtaken. Whether they classify winning or not is another matter. Les Paul comes across the line in 2nd, Notorious 3rd. Addict, Snoop, and Michelangelo, the guys remaining to cross the line yet. I believe that Addict is actually coming through in 4th. What a drive by that Addict in the Sauber there. Snoop is actually a lap ahead of Michelangelo. Michelangelo did what he needed to do, finish the race in 10th place, of course, now. And Snoop comes through in 9th. Michelangelo, the final car, comes through in 10th place. Did what he needed to do. Right there, guys, so this is where we're up to right now. Great driving by the lads, of course. Great driving by Kev. So that's awesome there. That's fantastic. Great driving there. Winchester, I don't blame him for leaving the session, getting crashing out on lap 69 of all things. 3 from the end. Doing a 2-hour race nearly and then bidding it with 2 laps to go. Not what you want. Which means Tough Kev, Les Paul, Notorious, Addict in 4th in the Sauber. He'd probably give him driver of the day, to be honest with you. An incredible drive by Addict. 5th position then, Biddy. Great drive by him, a couple of mistakes of course with the spin, managed to come back. Big Stu, an array of mistakes, managing to salvage 6th position, which is big points still of course. 24 points for Big Stu there. 7th position is Toto, 8th is Paul 2K, for the moment at least. Obviously he's had a bit of an incident of course so far. 9th is Snoop, and 10th place being Michael. Why has Kev got two penalties? What's going on there? Amazing. If Winchester unsafe stop go for big car. Ah, right, okay, so he's only got 5-second penalty, right, okay. So that is the running order, guys. That is Winchester, of course, crashed out very late in the Grand Prix. So unfortunate for Winnie there. Whether he gets classified or not, we'll confirm in the next race. Also, guys, if anyone's new to the stream, please be sure to drop me a follow. Turtles, since that incident, Owzat and Wisedog. This has been Pod. Take care, much love, all the best, and we'll see you next week for the Spanish Grand Prix. All the best. Goodbye for now.